Just want to give you a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be covering in this module and maybe give you a little bit of an understanding of what you're going to be seeing. First of all, let me tell you that these are some of the first modules that I'm doing. I have new software, so if things don't go as smoothly at the beginning, really don't be surprised. It certainly will pick up. And I recorded some of these when I was first learning how to use this software. Not that I'm an expert at this point. But at the beginning of our logic course, the first thing we want to do is talk about the basic concepts that make up the subject matter of our logic course, which are logic, reason, and arguments. And what we're going to try to do in this particular module, and it's going to be kind of a getting your toes wet, getting into the water kind of module, just to understand what's going on. We're going to be talking about logic, reason, and arguments, and particularly we're going to be talking about what are these things and how are they related. And what we're going to be doing here is what might be called a philosophical analysis. Philosophers spend a lot of time making sure that the concepts that they're getting across are clear and understood. That is, they're not ambiguous. They can't be interpreted in different ways. Logic, reason, and arguments or an argument are three words that are used in a bunch of different ways. We're going to be looking at them in the course of this module and seeing how they're used in ordinary language and honing in on the particular meanings that are the ones that are significant and the ones that we're going to be following and trying to use in the course of the semester. And we're going to begin with the question of what is logic? Look at some definitions, and one thing we're going to be doing with all these things is looking at certain typical characteristic uses of these concepts in common everyday English. English happens to be the language we speak. If there's a word logic in some other language and people are speaking some other language, that would work also. But the idea is we're trying to figure out how do people use logic, and typically a word like logic has several different meanings. And we're going to want to really hone in, sharpen our knives on the concept and figure out which of these different meanings, different concepts is the one that's important in our course. After that, we're going to see that there's some relationship between logic and reason. We're going to want to get clear what we're talking about reason. And finally, we're going to look at what an argument is, what arguments are, and we're going to try to figure out what role do they play in everyday life. The idea is in the course of this course, during this semester, as we go through this course, you're going to be learning a skill, learning how to understand, how to evaluate, how to use arguments. And it's certainly helpful for us to see what role they play in our everyday lives. Well, move on. You're going to have a few more of these to listen to and get through. And let me just remind you that there will be some exercises associated with this course module up on Blackboard that I'm going to ask you to do. That's going to help reinforce the points that are being made in the videos.